Gary Lineker has vowed to keep speaking up over the government's anti-migrants policy. The football host, 62, risks being wrapped by BBC bosses for impartiality. It comes after BBC chairman Richard Sharp kept his job after helping to land former Prime Minister Boris Johnson an £800,000 loan. Lineker thanked his fans amid growing disbelief that the BBC plans to censure him for attacking Suella Braverman's Nazi small boats plan. Far from backing down after sparking fury among Tory supporters for comparing the Home Secretary's anti-migrant policy to 1930s Germany, the defiant Match of the Day presenter went on the offensive. He tweeted today, "Great to see the freedom of speech champions out in force this morning demanding silence from those with whom they disagree." And the ex-England striker vowed, "I'll continue to try and speak up for those poor souls that have no voice." Cheers all. There was growing anger that Lineker, 62, faced a rap for impartiality on government views by BBC bosses just weeks after it emerged BBC chairman Richard Sharp had introduced someone to then Prime Minister Boris Johnson to guarantee an £800,000 loan. Mr. Sharp, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's former boss at Goldman Sachs, remained in his role after he said he regretted not disclosing the matter during the selection process. The BBC said today they would be having a frank conversation with Lineker, who works as a freelance TV host and insists impartiality rules do not apply to him. BBC Director General Tim Davie, who stood as a Tory councillor in the 90s, said today he had not yet spoken to Lineker. Asked about how many strikes the host has had on impartiality, he said, "I wouldn't talk specifically about individuals." Former BBC journalist John Sopel addressed the row on the newsagent's podcast, saying, "Imagine the conversation if Gary Lineker went in to see the chairman, Richard Sharp. And the chairman says, 'Gary, you should not have done that and you need to apologise to the government.' And Gary Lineker says, 'I didn't facilitate an £800,000 loan for the Prime Minister while we're on the subject of impartiality.'" The row erupted on Tuesday after the government outlined plans to ban people arriving via an illegal route from claiming asylum. It is part of attempts to address a rise in the number crossing the channel in small boats. Lineker said it was not dissimilar to that used by Germany in the 30s. Mr. Sunak's press secretary said, "It's disappointing to see someone whose salary is funded by hard-working British licence fee payers using that kind of rhetoric." Today Lineker tweeted his attack on those demanding silence and thanked supporters, saying it means a lot. When it was pointed out he worked for several organisations and was not tweeting representing the BBC, he quoted the tweet and added, "Absolutely.